Welcome back to the Journeys in Business series. I'm Jess, owner of Jess Creatives, and in this series, I'm sitting down with entrepreneurs to hear about their journeys in business and lessons they have learned. Hey Devon, thanks so much for joining me.
Hey there, great to be here, Jess.
Yeah, so to kick us off, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us about what you do?
Well, hello everyone. I am Devon Smiley and I'm a negotiation consultant, which means that I help ambitious entrepreneurs go after what they want, need, and deserve in business.
Yes, and I love it because you are literally the only negotiation consultant that I know.
Yay!
Like I know tons of copywriters and business coaches, but I'm like, anytime somebody's like, oh, like, how do I negotiate? Or like, how do I do? And I'm like, oh, like, I already know, like, I only have one person to send you.
Smiley. Send Smiley.
Yes. So how did you get into this?
Well, I landed in negotiation completely by accident. I was working away in procurement, which was also a total accident, but I loved it. And they offered me the opportunity to step into a contract negotiation role. And my first reaction was that this will be the most boring job ever. Like, who on earth wants to do this? But I figured, okay, it's part of the career path. It'll be good. Okay, go for it. And then I loved it. And I loved negotiation because I realized I didn't need to be a total jerk to get great results. I could be myself. I could build relationships. I could use my communication skills. And it ended up being right up my alley. So I fell in love with it in the corporate world. And then after a few years of that, realized that there were all these small businesses and entrepreneurs that should be negotiating. But the only examples they were seeing of it were like the very navy blue suit, comb over, furious, And that totally isn't the style of a lot of small businesses. Yeah. So I thought, no, there's a place here. These people need me. Take everything I've learned in the corporate world and translate it into impact for my clients.
Awesome. I love it. And that's so cool. Like, just kind of like a happy accident. And then you were like, actually, this is awesome. Like, yeah, an awesome accident, not just a happy accident.
Exactly. Like, no one ever thinks when they're a small kid, like, well, when I grow up, I'll be a negotiation consultant.
Yeah, no. I don't think I've heard that one before.
No, like, I was firmly I want to be a ballerina.
I mean, it's just a little bit different from a ballerina,
Slightly.
Slight turn.
I like to joke that all those years of training had me really well prepared for like dancing around sticky situations.
Oh, there you go. I like it. You should make like a GIF, whatever, however you say it. Of you like dancing. It could be like on your sales page. Be like, oh dear, we'll dance around these sticky situations. Like, that needs to be on your website. Or like make like a promo video or something, and you can like be dancing in an office. You're like, and then this could be your chance to wear a tutu as well.
Cause that's what the world needs.
that is what the world needs. Like, how funny would it be if you like completely redid your website and you were like ballerina outfit like all over? It's just like people were like, is she a ballerina? And then you're like, karate chop, like negotiation console.
I think that has like really wicked April Fool's prank written all over it.
Yes. Or like, just, I mean, because I know you just have so much free time, like build an entirely separate website. And so like, if it's, I don't know, like a client you don't want to work with or something, you're like, yeah, here's my website.
Yeah. When it turns out to be far more profitable than anything else I've ever done, then okay.
I'm just like envisioning this like Devon in a tutu on her website, and I'm like, I think this is a great idea. Like,
oh my goodness.
Can you imagine how fun that photo shoot would be, or the video
shoot? It would be fun for everyone not participating in it.
Okay, that's probably true, but whatever. I think it's a good idea, at least for April Fool's Day. Or like maybe you just sneak in little hints of ballerina, like your email opt-in, like like the pop-up or whatever has like a little you in a tutu, and you're
Oh
like,
my goodness.
here's your dance steps for the sticky situation. I don't know. I'm not a copywriter, but I could see this could be magical. Just saying.
I will put that in my booklet of ideas.
Okay.
and sleep on it.
Okay. Please report back if you decide to go
Exactly.
with this.
You're my go-to if I need a ballerina website.
Oh my gosh, I just think it would be so funny. Anyways, okay, enough ballerina talk, I guess. I'll let it go for now. What is your favorite part about what you do?
My favorite part for me, selfishly, is that every single client I work with is different.
Mm-hmm.
So I never get bored.
Yeah.
And even if it is 6 clients in a row who all say, I'm struggling to earn more profit in my business, it's all different. Every solution we find will be unique. So I love that because I never get bored.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite part for the client impact, though, is when I am having a client call and we're on video and they've started off really nervous and they're sort of like, ooh, we're going to talk about negotiation. And then I see them relax and they'll smile and their shoulders will go down and they are so much more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And that, for me, like those visual cues are just, they absolutely make the call for me. I love them.
That would be really cool to see, because that I don't often get on video with my clients, but like you, they're all different, and I just get the email reactions. And for me, it's always like I go from like periods and maybe like 1 exclamation mark to like 15 exclamation marks. And like, ah. So yeah, I think seeing the visuals would like be more exciting, especially just in like one call or over a course of a few calls. Like that would be really fun. So I like when I think negotiation consult or like just negotiation, I picture like pay me $500. No, like I'm only paying $400. So like, what is it like when people like if I was to come to you and be like, I need help, are you like actually telling them? I'm imagining it's not like here's how you get them to actually pay more, but is it? I know you do a lot with like their profits and stuff. So what's kind of like a summary of what you do?
Well, it'll be different for every client, but a lot of the time, what happens first is looking at the financial side of it and figuring out, are you actually charging enough?
Mm-hmm.
Because there is all that mindset baggage that comes along with being an entrepreneur and setting our prices or our fees. So the first thing is, what are you charging now? Is it actually covering your expenses? And now let's get you comfortable adding in some profit.
Yeah.
Once they sort of have that handled, we look to specific communication things that they'll need to do. So sometimes this means that they've been working with a client on an hourly basis, but it's kind of the revenue's going up and down. It's really hard to budget.
Yeah.
So we're moving them into project-based or retainer-based. And so we work on the skills for what's in it for the client. How are you then going to communicate to them that this is a good idea for them?
Yeah.
To get them open to have the discussion to hand you a larger chunk of money up front.
Yes.
And it's practicing that, and not a ton of role playing for practice, but it's because I find role playing, everyone's like, ooh, it's time to win an Oscar. And we go very dramatic. And
yes.
I'm not sure how helpful that is in some situations, but finding what your prompts are going to be, getting straight in your own mind why you are asking for these things and why you deserve them.
Yeah.
And that kind of helps the flow of when you're actually having the conversation.
Awesome. Love that. I just wanted to make sure, because I mean, I wasn't entirely sure what these client calls were, but I wanted to make sure people who were like, I've literally never heard of negotiation. Like, well, obviously negotiation, but someone who does it as part of their job. But just so people are now, they're like, oh yeah, I definitely need to think about that. Like,
so it's like helping with the pricing point, helping with the model. If you're working in an agency model, are you adding in enough money to cover the fact that you do all the admin work? And that's a lot of work.
Yes.
And it can also be just getting people comfortable with asking for things not at all financial. So a lot of times clients say, well, I've landed with this work and I don't really like the fact that I have to drive to go meet them 3 times a week because traffic stinks. I have a family. Okay, how can we get that client to transition to a more convenient location or to meet on Skype instead? There's so much more you can ask for as an entrepreneur than just the money part, because I'm pretty sure a lot of us would take quite a bit less money as income if we had the perfect situation to work in.
Absolutely.
Real trade-off there that we can take advantage of when we're negotiating.
I am that, what you just described, that is me. Because like I just had someone email me today, like, we're really looking for someone local so they can meet in person. And I was like, I live an hour, like I know my website says I live in Atlanta, but I'm really like an hour outside. And so I don't really want to do that. Like, and I've even had somebody who wanted to do a coffee chat, and they're like, oh, like, how about this place? And I was like, that's like 10 minutes from you and like 45 minutes for me. Yeah. And I was like, how about this place? And they were like,
15-minute conversation, but it's a 3-hour journey.
Yeah.
And yeah, being comfortable saying no or suggesting something else. Yeah. That's a negotiation.
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
Yeah.
So if you have trouble pricing yourself, you need to talk to Devon.
Pricing, and I like to sum it up as the sign you should be negotiating is if there is something going on in your business that you are not excited about.
Ooh, love
and if you're not excited, then there's something that can be changed, and negotiation is how you will make that change.
Boom. Love that. Yeah. Love it. So what is your big why? What drives you?
My drive is that I don't think anyone should ever have to feel too small to ask for what they want, need, or deserve.
Preach.
Yeah.
Girl, I like that. You and I are on the same wavelength.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing. And I think coming from a really, like, I worked big corporate, like Forbes 50.
Yeah.
Like gajillions of dollars corporate.
Gajillions.
Yeah.
It's a real word.
And I know that when you're in a larger company, there's sort of this power that comes along with it. Like, well, don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I work for? And then when you go and you become a solopreneur or a freelancer, you're like, you're stripped of the power. But you're not actually.
No.
You just think you are. Let's find those alternate sources. Let's get you more confident again.
Yes.
And you can go in and you can negotiate with the biggest client ever and still hold your own and get what you want at the end.
Yeah, I always tell my clients, or like, well, I mean, I don't know if I talk about this with clients, but business friends or people in Facebook groups, like, you are in control with your clients. Like, I see people always talking about like, oh, like my clients, like they keep emailing me on the weekends. And I'm like, first of all, don't reply. Second of all, like, set office hours, put an email responder. Like, there's all these like very simple things you could do, but I'm like, you're in charge. Like, just
like, client satisfaction is important because we're in business. But
right.
That reminds me of, it's the Dr. Phil of we teach people how to treat us.
Yes, exactly.
And if you don't want emails on the weekend, then stop replying at 1 a.m. on a Saturday.
Because that's that problem real quick.
Gratification. They're like, yes, I'm getting my response. I'll keep sending it.
Yeah.
You know.
Set the expectations. Exactly. So if you could go back to your like first week, your first month of working for yourself, and tell yourself something to prepare for this road ahead, what would you tell yourself?
Oh, hold on, baby. I think if I'm going to be like a taskmaster with myself, it will be please stop confusing self-care with indulgence.
Ooh.
Because
give me goosebumps.
Because, you know, a bit of Netflix is good. Yeah. And you know, you're unwinding from a decade in a corporate world. So there's a transition that's happening. But like, whoa, lady, like, get off the couch and go sit at a real desk. And, so that would be if I'm being like mean with myself about it.
We're having like a stern talking.
Yes, serious Devon. Serious Smiley. but more productive, perhaps. I would give myself the advice to actually put myself out there a lot sooner. I spent a lot of time at the beginning working on the inside of my business, and like, how many hours can you spend on an Excel? I have not found the limit on that one yet. I didn't get out.
Hours.
Yeah, I didn't meet people, even in my own community. I was like, well, no, it has to be perfect because they're going to judge me if they meet me. So I better have all my stuff together. I should have gone out there sooner. I should have been speaking sooner. I should have joined a co-working space. There's a lot of the social element that I didn't tap into. And so first week, Devon.
Get out. And those kind of go hand in hand, like get off the couch and then go out.
Like if you want to live the dream of working in yoga pants on your couch, then you're going to have to get off the couch. That's the catch here.
Yeah, that's kind of, but you work at a co-working space.
I don't actually. I haven't.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
So this is still on your to-do list.
It is.
Current Devon is not even listening to.
No, current Devon is listening to current Devon. Because that's something I've been really intrigued by is having that community. And I think one of the things holding me back from that is kind of wanting to interview co-working spaces to be like, well, who else is here?
Yeah.
Because it's the idea of, what does they say? You're the total of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I'm like, well, if I join a space and there are 5 loser people,
well, this is clearly not going to work out.
No, it's not going to be a good fit with my business and with my vision. And, so.
No, that makes
sense. Is me coming up with a reason to procrastinate.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. Because, I have sometimes thought about doing a co-working space, but there's only one that is somewhat close. And it's really small. And so me being introverted, I'm like, oh, then it's like, I really can avoid the people in there. Not that, obviously, I want to co-work and I want to talk to people, but the bigger ones that I have visited, it's easier to I can go over to this section and that's, whereas the closest one is very, very small. But you should see if any of them have day passes or because I know some around here have day passes or week passes or something like that. And
that's a real lifesaver for me when I'm traveling is that sometimes it's you have those awkward hours before you head to an airport and I'm like, well, I'm going to pay the $30 and go to this co-working space and I get coffee and a bathroom and no one's going to steal my stuff when I go. So I've dabbled in a few and I kind of feel you and I had chatted, in the pre-show. I go to New York a fair bit for business. And so I've got this little list of okay, depending which neighborhood I'm in, I think I want to try out this one or try out that one. Pretend I'm a cool New Yorker instead of a Montrealer, but
whatever, no big deal. But yeah, sometimes I think about it would be cool to open up a co-working space. I think it would just be kind of fun and to be able to decorate it and meet people and stuff. Of course, that's what I'm concerned about is decorating it.
So what will my color scheme? I'm sure we need a business model, but first the color scheme.
let me get the colors down and then the business model.
It'll follow.
No big deal. But I just I think co-working spaces intrigue me as well. But they also intimidate me a little bit just because I'm are people do all the people here, have they been co-working together for a year so they all know each other and I'm going to be the new kid in class?
Yeah, you're transferring in the middle of the school year.
Yeah, or do people, is everyone very seclusive and doesn't talk to each other? And then in which case, why am I even here? So
I'm just gonna go home.
Never mind. Can I get my money back?
Yeah.
So if you were starting your business over tomorrow, what would you do differently?
If I'm starting over tomorrow, I would make an immediate investment in branding and photos. Because I didn't when I started my business. My blog actually started as an offshoot of a fashion blog I was writing.
What?
Yeah, like for a year and a half, I've been writing about fashion because I totally love fashion, art, music, totally into it. And I've been writing all these articles, and then I had this voice of like, no, talk about business. And so I did. And I was like, I really like this. So my very first site was like, click here for fashion and click here for negotiation.
People are like, what?
No. And I still had clients. So
I mean, you gotta start somewhere.
But I think if I had, had the photos taken, which is not something I am comfortable with, but if I'd gone out there, done it, if I had, zhuzhed up my website sooner and clarified that message I was sending, I think it would have gone a long way in building momentum earlier in the business. So, like, if everything disappeared tomorrow, then I think I would embrace the clean slate.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
I really want it to disappear because tomorrow was already a very full day for me.
You're like, can we not have that happen tomorrow, please?
Please no. I just jinxed it, didn't I?
Knock on wood. I'm going to feel real bad if tomorrow you send me an email and you're like, okay, so my site is gone.
Yeah. Oh no.
But yeah, I know because I do websites, obviously, and sometimes I'm refreshing websites, sometimes I'm doing new websites, and a lot of times people don't have that like positioning, that messaging down. And I mean, sometimes I try and refer them to like some blog posts, some resources, some people, but often they're like, oh, like I just need to start, which is true, but I'm also like, it would be it would be more helpful if you had some better positioning, some better like, and I so wish that I had better copywriting skills or even any at all. But because there are sometimes I'm like, I wish I could just secretly like spruce this up for you, not secretly, but just help like spruce this up, because I'm like, I know how awesome like your service is or whatever, and I'm like, it's just not clicking on this website right now. Like, we need to like put something up there. Like, I know a lot of people, their homepage, they're like, slideshow.
I'm like,
and I'm like, oh, can we put like a word? Maybe a few
like your name or
like, can we just put, I mean, like, I know your logo's up there, but just because it says like maybe what you do, like it's not giving enough information. And so, I mean, I definitely agree. I didn't even have my like positioning and messaging figured out from the get-go. And it is something that kind of evolves. Yeah. And it takes time and it evolves. So it's not like I cannot launch until I have this figured out. Like, but
because we'd all still be sitting there.
Like, we'd just be like,
papers and Excel spreadsheets, never launching anything.
Yeah. So, but it's like, have that something that you constantly are working on and working towards. And because I know it makes a big difference. Because a lot of people talk about whenever they really like click with their message or niche down or whatever, I feel like a lot of times that's like a big turning point for people.
Definitely.
And they're like,
I'd ignored a lot of the advice I got when I was first starting because it was all advice to abandon negotiation.
What?
Yeah, it was like, help people with negotiation, but don't use that word.
What did they want you to say?
That I help them make more money, that I help you have difficult conversations. Just like use every euphemism you can come up with, but not negotiation, because negotiation scares people. And it took me a long time to actually embrace the fact that, yes, it scares people. That's the point. And when they get scared, I am there to help them.
You're like, no, I need them to be scared.
Like, if you're not scared, then you don't hire me. So it's a very poor business model on my part.
Yeah.
But it's like, own what I am, and that's my niche. And you had said, you don't know any other negotiation consultants. Well, yay.
You're like, I win. That's my win for the week.
My claim.
Yes. So you always have used negotiation, like, or did you try and avoid it for a while?
I tried to avoid it. I rewrote every single piece of copy on my website. I stripped the word out. Like I did, Control F and just like pulled it all out. And it didn't help my business at all. I just felt like I was lying to people, like I was tricking them. Like, I'm going to help you make more money and be happier in your business. By the way, it's with negotiation. Like, I didn't like that. I didn't feel comfortable with it. And if I'm not comfortable with it, then how on earth am I ever going to show up and be on podcasts and do interviews and talk about what I do if I'm like hiding it?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you have to embrace what you do and not, you have to be comfortable with it, like you said. Otherwise, you're going to like tiptoe around it, do the ballerina dance around it.
I'm not going to tell you how I help you. Just what I do. Like, no.
Yeah.
I own it.
I like it. And you should own it because you're awesome at it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. But I mean, because like when you say like, I help you make more money, which you do, but if I saw that, I'd be like, so like profit coach, business coach, like what does she do? Like that's what I would think if I saw a website that was just like said that instead of negotiation. But you own it. I mean, you get to fly all over the place and help these companies along with entrepreneurs, like,
which is really cool. And it's something I love is that I am able to straddle both worlds now.
Yeah.
So in any, like, for example, when I was in Texas and I was with an investment bank doing a very corporate training on negotiation, I got to meet up for dinner with one of my clients from the entrepreneur side.
Oh, fun.
And it was amazing. It's the first client of mine that I've met like in the flesh. And it was fantastic. And it was just such a nice mix that within 24-hour period, I was both sides of myself.
Yeah.
Loved it. I didn't have to turn off one side or the other. I can be both.
Yeah.
This is who I am.
Yeah. So is your website, like, is it geared towards both corporate and entrepreneur or only entrepreneur?
My website is geared towards entrepreneur because the corporate work I do is via another company.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
I am head of North America for a firm called Advantage Spring.
Head of North America. Yeah. Okay. No big deal.
Took a while to get comfortable with that one.
Yeah, like that's a big title, but that's awesome. Okay, so that makes sense. But
so on my site, it's like if you click on the corporate consulting, it directs via them.
Gotcha.
Because I tried to balance message and it was like one blog post to the next. Like there's a voice you use with corporate and there's a voice you use with entrepreneurs. And for devonsmiley.com, it's the entrepreneur world.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I early on used to work with like churches and kind of like organizations, like big businesses. I even did a little bit of freelance work for a university. And so for a while, like my blog post would be like, when you need design for your organization, business, or like, it was like really confusing.
It's like you're a model / actress / rock star /
yeah, like what? Yeah, so everything said for your church, organization, or business. And it was like, and I remember at one point just realizing like, I can't do that. Like, I can't keep targeting all three of these people. So I finally was like, I just want to work with entrepreneurs. And I still occasionally get like businesses, bigger clients, churches, whatever. But those are mostly like referrals, or they just read past all the entrepreneur talk and decide to hire me anyway. I don't know.
We like you even though you work with entrepreneurs.
Yeah. But yeah, you have to like, I totally get the confusing like back and forth because I would like randomly have like a church, like a blog post geared towards churches. It was like 5 ways like your church can use whatever, I don't know. And then the next one would be like freelancer spotlight. Like people are like, what? So yeah, narrowing that down is important. I know a lot of people are scared, like I know a lot of people are scared to niche down to like a specific industry or whatever, but sometimes in the beginning it's even scary to like leave out churches and organizations and only say entrepreneurs. But it's definitely clears up things, and it makes blog post writing a lot easier when
it's a lot easier to plan an editorial calendar when you actually know who you're talking to.
Yeah, instead of like, here, let me write this for anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody who would like need my services, yeah, it's a little tiring. But so what are you working on for 2017?
2017, which feels like it's flying by,
Oh yeah.
is I don't even want to think about the list I wrote on January 1st. Like, this year I will accomplish. No, that is gone. My big thing this year is speaking. It's getting out there more. And it's one of those things that I think a lot of people are scared of speaking. They get very nervous.
Yeah.
I love speaking. I love being up on a stage. I adore being in front of a group of people and sharing this spark I have for negotiation. And I want to do a lot more of that. That is, so when I'm on the phone, just today I was on the phone and in another city, I'm like, hey, I'm going to be in town. Can I give a workshop at your facility? And they're like, whoa, okay.
Yes.
Yay.
That's awesome.
So exciting. So like more of that. I want tons more of that in my 2017. And then the other two things, and these are things I've been noodling on for a while, but I feel like they're about ready. Like they've, in French we say mijoter. They've simmered long enough that they're ready for a taste test. Is a larger sort of group training to bring together a few different entrepreneurs to help with their pricing and their negotiation and their messaging. So I'm working on that one.
Yeah.
The other one is to write a book.
Ooh.
Which is a very big thing to say. So
yay!
But I found that the more I'm speaking and the more I'm refining my message, I'm like, this is a book. There's something in here. So
I love it. Okay, well, let me know so I can order a copy whenever you start writing.
Exactly. Devon, you said it would be ready on this day.
Yeah, I'm like, excuse me, you mentioned this. Like, I'm holding you accountable.
So yeah, that's the downside of now mentioning it is.
Put it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
If I don't put it out there, then it won't get done.
Yeah.
And I think the idea has, percolated long enough.
Yeah. Awesome. I love that. How exciting. So where can we connect with you online to, get these book updates and these workshop updates and all that kind of fun stuff?
Well, you cannot go to, Devon Smiley /ballet. My online home is devonsmiley.com. And on social media, I am at Devon M. Smiley. My middle initial is in there. So
awesome.
That's where I am. I'm hanging out a lot more on Instagram these days.
Yay. Fun. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today.
My pleasure. So great to catch up.
Yes.